Hey! Hey! It's the Tim Anderson Podcast. I'm Tim. And, oh, Jesus, am I so glad to see you. My good buddy, Ty. TyShrupp.com, insurance agent to the stars, is on the other side. Ty is in a bit of a blur on the camera tonight. Looks like he's got this very ethereal look going on. It's very nice. Yeah, even coming in, that looks great. Boy, look at you. I think it looks very nice. It's kind of angelic. Oh, there he is. He's cleaned it up now. Now he looks good. There he is. Ty, how are you, my friend? It's good to see you.
I am doing well, Tim. Thanks for having me on. And yeah, same goes for you. It's a pleasure to see you.
Yeah,
you look crystal clear.
Oh,
so
well, thank you. I'm working on it. I'm working on a lot of things here at the pod, and I know that I think actually now you've almost closed your camera. You should open that back up a touch. There's a little darkness there. There it is. That's my guy. This is all for the video podcast, which you can find on YouTube. Look for Tim Anderson Podcast, and you should be able to find us. I'm sure the White Sox shortstop does stuff too, but you don't want that guy. You want me and Tyus. If you can find those clips, that would be great. Of course, you can always subscribe to us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcast. Go ahead and subscribe, give us 5 stars, say nice things. Don't be an asshole. Don't say mean things. If you got something nice, don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. At least that would be what my mother would tell me. That's kind of that thought. Tyus, oh man, so much golf to talk about. So much golf to talk about. But how have you been this past week? How's the moving process? How's the building process? How's everything going?
Good. Everything's coming along smoothly. The house goes for sale this weekend. So that'll be exciting times. Or I suppose it's going to be coming soon this weekend. But pictures are taken. So now we can live in our house for a couple of weeks. Actually make a footprint. But after that, we're going to have to be mice in our house. So that's a bummer, but it's part of the process. I think it'll sell fast. We got it in good shape.
Should I show up to the house when it goes on the market just to act like I'm an interested buyer, even though I'm nowhere near qualified or have the ability to, but I could just walk in anyway and just, act all, I could be like a plant, like a mole for you. I could sit there and go, oh my God, this house, this is a bargain at this price. I'd pay $500,000. I'd pay $1 million for this house. Could I be one of those guys? I think I could do it. I think we could move some product for you.
That'd be great. I would really appreciate that. I'll let you know the details on.
Just remember my finder's fee when that happens. Remember, I got to get a cut when that happens. You got to keep that in mind.
No doubt.
Ty, I got to tell you a story. First of all, for my audience, Ty and I played Troy Burne 2 weeks ago. And shout out to Troy Burne. First of all, shout out to Troy Burne, Ty. What an unbelievable golf course that is. I maintain again that it is, I think, the best course in the metro area. Within 35 minutes of the metro area, it's the best golf course, and it maintains that, doesn't it? This was your first time, though. I was surprised to hear that.
Yeah, it was, and it's funny because I dubbed the phrase, if you get the chance to play Troy Burne, you play Troy Burne. And 6 days after we played it, I got the chance to play Troy Burne on someone else's dime, and I couldn't go. Isn't that terrible?
Oh,
Isn't
man.
that blasphemy?
That is blasphemy.
You can't do that. Yeah. But my first impression driving in, beautiful golf course. I knew it was going to be because I kind of knew what people said about it. But the golf course really lived up to the name, and it's probably a golf course I'll try to play multiple times a year, which I can't really say that about a whole lot of golf courses, to be honest. I don't play 50 rounds a year. I probably play 30, and 6 of them are at courses that are right down the street from my house. So I don't get out too often. Yeah,
Troy Burne is the reveal into Troy Burne is as good as any. When you drive up and drive through those first couple holes, it's just a great reveal of a golf course. It's you get a chance to really get a look at what you're in for. And it blows you away. And it lived up to it. It was great. I didn't have my best stuff. Didn't play very well. I thought you played great. I thought you were fun to watch. And the course looked like you guys were kismet, like it was made for you.
Yeah, and the frustrating part of the whole thing is I have to be happy with the score. I'm definitely happy with the back nine, how I finished up. But but I left a few shots, especially off the tee on the front. Now, it's not a super punishing golf course off the front unless you get in the bunkers, but I still maintain that getting in a bunker is better than losing your ball, right?
100%.
So I feel like I left a few shots on the front. So I really feel like I could have started with a 7, but that I'd have been pretty darn happy with that. So no regrets. It's difficult playing golf courses for the first time.
It is.
Troy Burne is a little bit more fair though, because it's all in front of you. It's a lot of elevated tees. And I think that's what really becomes difficult at golf courses you don't know are elevated greens and blind tee shots. And there's not a ton of that at Troy Burne, which is fortunate.
They have a great, first of all, GPS on the carts, shout out. If you're charging $100+ for your round, GPS on the carts, I think, has got to happen. So I think that's a part of it. I love that. And you could really, they do a nice job with those too. They really tell you, like, here's where the water is. Here's how far it is to it. Here's what you can do. And they tell you up front, like, yeah, the course doesn't hide. It doesn't lie to you. It says exactly what the challenge is. And it says you must hit 260 yards right here, 160 yards right here. You must hit it accurately right here, or else you will lose a ball over here. And I don't mind that at all. I think that's what makes the golf course playable. I mean, you can look really silly. You can be a decent golfer and look really silly out there, but you can also get it going pretty quickly too. And I think we saw that in both cases, right? Like, I thought you played really well. Like, really, like, you drove just the eyes off the ball and played just fantastic. And I thought got rewarded for it, but you and I both got punished when we hit bad shots.
Yeah, and I struggled a lot around the greens, and that's kind of been the story of my year, unfortunately. It just wasn't any different that day. But I digress, and I like that we're talking about off the tee because, yeah, that was pretty good off the tee. Again, not great on the front. Struggled a little bit to start. Nice drive on 1, but after that I struggled, with the driver, probably 3 or 4 holes. But, yeah, we got it together on the back. And the short game came around. You gave me a great tip that I've used since.
Oh?
I like to hit the flush picking chips, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I like to hit it where the ball goes high and you barely brush the grass, but you really got to play it back in your stance. It's just a safer shot most of the time. Put the ball on the ground. Let the golf course do with it what it will. It takes the big miss out of play in most cases. You can hit it, you can hit it fat, sure. But your tip about keeping my body, putting the ball back in my stance and keeping my weight forward through the swing, I've done that a bunch of times since, and that's really helped. So I gotta give you a little golf clap on that one.
Well, and considering the chipping is not the best part of my game right now, but I will say it's been made a lot better since doing that. And I do that out of the bunkers too. Out of the bunkers. Not that the ball is in the back of my stance in the bunker. It's more in the middle front. But all my weight is on the front foot, on the front side. And I am trying to keep as steep an angle through the sand with the bounce as I possibly can. I don't want to be shallow here. I get the club up quickly and get down quickly and try to strike that match as they talk about. And I think that's really worked well, and it's applied to the chipping as well. And yeah, it's gotten better. I mean, there are days where it isn't very good, but it's getting better. And I like that. So, yeah, it's been a good tip. It's worked well. I have had less of the blading, less sculling, and that's the big thing. Because you can chunk, right? Chunking sucks, but chunking doesn't kill you. You can bounce back from a chunk. Sculling it, I mean, you're bringing big numbers into play when that happens. And that's what I try to avoid.
Yeah, absolutely. I never thought of it out of the bunker. The best advice I ever got out of the bunker is to keep my lower half quiet.
That's good advice too.
That tends to help me a lot.
Yeah, so, and you're a good bunker
player. My only swing thought: an inch behind the ball, lower half quiet.
Yeah, and it works for you. You're a good bunker player. Although you did admit that you don't hit the ball high out of the bunker; that it comes out like a low missile with some spin.
Yep. So I'm in trouble if I'm in a deep bunker, which Troy Burne has a few of them. I had a pretty deep bunker that I had a pretty nice shot. Luckily, got up and down on one. But I don't know if it was 3 inches above the lip. That's a little scary being in those bunkers, knowing that you just don't have that shot. I think I just need to get deeper, but that's a confidence thing, right? I think the further you sweep across, the safer it's going to be. Well, as soon as you get deep, you bring that, hitting the ball 50 feet over the green into play, which I did do once.
Yeah, I've done it many times. Are you kidding? It happens. It does. I got to tell you the story because I haven't told you this yet. So it all starts on the 14th or 15th hole at Troy Burne. The beverage cart girl comes to us. And again, I'm not trying to be misogynistic here. She was a girl, and it's a beverage cart girl. And I've been playing golf 14 years. I have yet to meet a male beverage cart attendant. You have met one. Ty has
I've seen one.
You have met one. Okay,
Yep.
So you and I have played probably a combined 1,500 to 2,000 rounds of golf.
Yeah, and about 1,800 of them are you, but yep.
Okay, maybe so. So in those rounds, one male attendant. One. Just want to be, I am just saying, males can absolutely be beverage attendants. Absolutely. They've all been girls to this point. Anyway, for me. So she comes down and says, you guys need anything, right? And I do the classic, yeah, of course. And I'm buying for Ty. I got to take care of my guy, right? And I say, do you take a card? And all year long, I will say this, shout out to golf courses who are taking cards instead of making me carry cash every time I go to the golf course. It's been a godsend. It really has, because you hate stopping at the turn. I don't love stopping at the turn. Some people really do. They love to stop at the turn. I'm not one of those guys. I want to keep playing, want to keep my round going, especially if I'm in the groove, right? Especially if I'm really playing well and I'm getting going. Don't want to take 15 minutes and stop at the clubhouse. I don't want to do that. So, Bev Cart girl who takes the card, very happy about that. However, Ty, she sort of misleads me, right? And you recall this piece. She says, you can come pick this up at the clubhouse. Well, that's not what I thought, right? I was under the impression that she would run my card on the spot like everybody else has been doing this year. So she didn't do that. Which already a red flag came into my head when that happened. Because my brain, I'm convinced I'm undiagnosed ADHD, right? Just convinced that we just never got it diagnosed, but I'm confident I have it because my brain just runs at 275 miles an hour, which isn't good, right? And I am a creature of routine and habit. It has to be the same every time. We have to do it the same way every time, and if we don't, disaster strikes. So because she grabs the card and brings it to the clubhouse, that is one more thing that I have to try to remember over the next 5 holes of golf. Lucky for us, she drives past us on our way to the car, right? So you and I are walking out, she drives past and I go, oh, my card. I have to go back. And that's where you and I bid adieu on the day at Troy Burne. You headed off to your car because you had to get to a meeting. I went inside and I took care of the card and I got my card back. I walked out the door. And I got into my car, and I headed off for the day. So I'm driving home, and I reach for my iced coffee. I reached for it, and I usually, I have it. I had it with me on the golf course, and I was going to reach for it because I was like, God, I could really use a sip of that right now. I look over, and it's not there. Red flag. So I'm in Woodbury, and the golf course is in Hudson. I'm like, now that I think about it, I don't know if I remember putting my golf clubs in the car. I pull off. I'm on 94. I pull off the first exit, and I stop in a gas station parking lot. And I go out, pop my back open. No golf clubs.
I didn't know any of this.
Yeah.
I'm glad you saved it for this.
So no golf clubs. Immediately, I have a mini anxiety panic attack because my golf clubs are sitting in the freaking open at Troy Burne Golf Club. I call Troy Burne right away and I say, this might sound stupid, but my golf clubs, I left them there. To which I get a slight giggle from the guy behind the counter. Not surprised by that at all, but it's like, yeah, we'll leave them out front for you. They're right here. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You talk about the walk of shame. Or the
oh, my God,
shame.
it was the walk of shame. It was the worst walk. The worst. So embarrassed. But this has been a common thing for me, not golf clubs, but like I always, again, I leave my keys, I leave my wallet, I leave my phone. And again, how does it happen? How does it happen? My routine was thrown off. My rhythm was thrown off. I walked in one door to go get my card. I walked out another door. And I didn't even see my clubs in the line of sight.
Yeah, I'd love to laugh too hard and, act like it would never happen to me, but I think I've done that before.
No way. Have you done? No, please tell me you have, because I'd feel better. But
I'm pretty sure I have.
Left your clubs?
Back to the card thing. The card thing is silly. I guess it's nice if they don't have. Troy Burne if other golf courses can bring an iPad out and swipe your card, Troy Burne can certainly afford to adopt that technology. But I don't know that I've ever sent my card into the clubhouse. I usually have cash, or that's when I just ask a good buddy, hey, would you buy a beer for me? I'll buy one for you next time, kind of thing. And I've been pretty lucky. But I maybe have been a witness to 20 people sending their cards into the clubhouse. And I think maybe 3 of them have remembered to get it. Everybody forgets their card, right? It's a good thing. Well, it's not. I suppose leaving the card wouldn't have been the end of the world. Would have made you mad. It's a good thing that you didn't think, you know what? I think I'd like to buy a new cup. I don't think I'm going to pull off and check to see if my golf. It's a good thing that you liked that cup enough to think, you know what? Did I forget anything else? I wonder if the cart girl, when she caught wind that some chumbalone had forgot his golf clubs do you think she thought, you know what? That was probably my fault. You think she thought that?
I don't think she thought it was her fault at all, because she said probably just that. Oh, that must have been the doofus who was hacking and chopping his way around the course, who bought a beer for his friend at the 14th and knew he'd forget his stupid card. That's who it was, clearly. And she was right.
She was right.
She was right. She's 100% right.
That's a great story.
So that's me. Now, I'll add that story to this. I went to Colorado last week, and I'm going to talk about the golf in just a second. But just to finish this thought on my brain, we're at the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo in Colorado Springs. Shout out to the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo in Colorado Springs. Absolutely beautiful zoo. Phenomenal. Just an outstanding 5-star experience. Loved it. Amazing. Terrific. Wife loved it. Great animals. Great enclosures. I get some great views of the Broadmoor. Really lovely. Loved it. It was fantastic. Beautiful. So somewhere along the way, I buy my wife a beverage, a water, and pay for it. We're walking around the zoo for 2+ hours after. I'm going to buy her a shirt on the way out and a magnet to say we've been here. Reach to my pocket. No wallet. Where the F is that? It's somewhere in this gigantic goddamn zoo. So I am running 7,000 feet above sea level, by the way, which is not great with oxygen. I'm tubby. I'm not in the best running shape, but I am running through this zoo like Rocky training for Ivan Drago in Rocky 4. Just up the mountain, down the mountain, round the mountain, this way, that way, this way, that way, this way. I am sweating like Shaq at the foul line in the fourth quarter of a game. Just sweating profusely. No wallet. Can't find it anywhere. Finally, I just beg a worker, please tell me you found it. Please tell me you have. And they did. So I got my wallet back. But, man, I would have been so boned. That had everything. I couldn't go home. They wouldn't have let me on a plane. And it was everything. That was all I had, right? So, like, God dang. I've got to get it under control. My brain is just a freaking mess right now. And on top of it, my wife, I'm out playing golf yesterday. Wife sends me a picture of the garage door open and says, well, I know who left this open this morning. The guy who forgets everything, golf clubs, wallet, etc. It's been a rough couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's a tough streak, I must say.
It's a tough streak of
I've forgotten
forgetfulness.
a few things in my day, but I'm not sure they've been that close together. That sounds like a little bit of a trend.
Yeah, the brain is it's wandering.
It's one thing to lose your wallet and be like, okay, I just walked out of a shop. It's somewhere in between here and there. But 2 hours goes by. Yeah, that's panic-inducing.
Yeah, I had a mini freak out. Had a mini meltdown. But again, the great people at Cheyenne Mountain Zoo in Colorado Springs were terrific. Had a wonderful time. I'm going to talk about the golf in just a second, but before I do that, Tyus, what's in the glass tonight? Turn your mic on and tell me that.
Sorry. I have noticed that we are both drinking out of our Sand Valley commemorative
Yes, we are.
drinking vessels.
Mm-hmm.
Yours is a little bit more insulated, but I have a little clear glass. Very cool. If anyone ever goes to Sand Valley, pick one up. It's actually etched into the glass, so it's internal to the glass. Very cool.
I'm drinking my iced coffee right now with the pumpkin munchkin Dunkin' creamer in there. It's very lovely. Thank you.
There you go. So I am actually drinking today out of my Sand Valley glass, a little nod to Western Wisconsin, because we were going to be talking about Troy Burne, the pride of Western Wisconsin, little Leinen Quaggles.
Very nice. The Berry Weiss.
Berry Weiss. It's a good one. If anybody has never tried it, it's very good. It's a little sweet. But if you go to the brewery in Chippewa Falls, close to Eau Claire, not too far up 94, they will actually mix Berry Weiss with Honey Weiss or Summer Shandy, and that's a nice little mix. Cuts the sweetness a little bit.
And I'm sure you've done that many times.
I've done it, yeah.
Lovely. And it sounds like you're having a lovely time with that beverage. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you about the round of the golf I played. First of all, let me just say about Colorado golf. I've played now 7 rounds of Colorado golf, and I've yet to be disappointed. Like, have conditions been perfect every round? No. Have I played in some rain? Yes. Have I played in cold weather? Yes. Have I played in hot weather? Yes. But have I loved every second of Colorado golf? Yes. I played my first round last Wednesday with a good friend of mine. Shout out to my guy Hendy in Castle Rock. Played 9 holes at the prestigious private club, the Pinery Country Club. First real country club experience I've had. Nice. Nice enough golf course. Not the best one I've played, but nice. Nice. Enjoyed it very much. But the round, Ty, was at Bear Dance Golf Club in Larkspur, Colorado. Larkspur, Colorado, a small town, not much there. Ty's directing traffic in his house. I love it. Get that on the pod. Everybody can see that on YouTube. There we go. Larkspur, Colorado, small little town just south of Castle Rock and just north of Colorado Springs. It is a absolute gem. A total 5-star golf course. Beautiful place to play golf. Wonderful views. Course was in terrific shape. Tremendous value. I got there for the $80 twilight rate, and I thought I was stealing. Like, it was tremendous. The driving range was in wonderful shape with great mountain views. The course just continued to impress hole after hole after hole. And you're just like, what a run of golf holes we're playing here. This is fantastic. And I fired my best round I think I've ever played. Shot a 1 over par 73, including a 2 under par back 9. I had it working, Tyus. And I'm just going to tell you right now, you could go there, and if you've got it working off the tee, you are going to put a number up at that place, and you will have the best time. It might walk away as your best golf experience you'll ever have. I thought it was just terrific. I've played Pasatiempo, and that remains probably the best golf course I've ever played, pound for pound. But as far as like fun golf experiences, it's right there. It is probably number one for me with Half Moon Bay, Sand Valley. I mean, Pasatiempo was fun, but it kicked my ass. It was so difficult and hard. Giants Ridge was amazing. I've played some beautiful golf courses, but boy, is Bear Dance something special in Colorado. I loved it. It was just a great experience.
So something comes to mind, not to get off the topic of you actually playing these golf courses, but so when you go on a vacation like this, I think I remember your first trip to Colorado a couple of years back was for a Ryder Cup trip, a guy's trip, right?
Yep, that's right.
So you're not probably choosing the golf courses. Maybe you have a say or a vote.
Didn't choose them.
This time around, how did you choose your golf courses? Because it pops into my head the thought of, sometimes we can say, man, San Diego has the best golf courses because you play 3 rounds. You Google the best golf courses in San Diego. You find out it's $150 to play, but you say, you know what? I'm on vacation. I'm not going to be here again. Whereas then we come home and we play, no offense, but Hidden Haven and Viking. And, I think sometimes we can get a little bit spoiled and then we think, man, why don't we have this in Minnesota? But really it can be, you get what you pay for. Maybe you can tell me if I'm wrong, but if you could speak to that.
Here's what I'll say. We picked the courses for a couple things. Big one is, does it provide anything for my wife to take a picture of? That's number one. So it's got to pass a visual test for my wife. My wife does not want to just look at golfers' golf courses. Like, for example, she said she has very little interest in playing and walking Sand Valley with me. Very little interest. She got me the ability to go out there and play, and she said, go take somebody who will enjoy it because it will not be me. It just looks like sand, and that's it. Not interested in taking pictures of sand. She doesn't get golf like we do. Like, you go out there, and it's a freaking masterpiece. It's a gem. I love Sand Valley, and it's a golfer's golf course, and that's what we described it as. She's like, is it a me golf course or is it a golfer's golf course? And she wants to play courses that she will like. So, on the guys' trip, I had no say. The Pinery was just my friend Jeff offering me a 9-hole round with him and dinner, and I said, okay. So I didn't really care where we played. I thought that would be terrific. Bear Dance was on the original itinerary for the Ryder Cup, and we got rained out of it. And we ended up relocating to the mountains where we played the Raven at Three Peaks in Silverthorne, Colorado, where it was 34 degrees and 10 inches of snow was incoming on June 24th of that year. So we were literally beating a snowstorm to finish that round of golf. Tim forgot to pack pants, and he played in 34-degree weather in shorts. Thank you. But so Bear Dance was always on my list as a course I'd want to play. And I heard great things, so I wanted to go back and play it. Had an opportunity, took it. My wife read up on Fossil Trace, which was the other course we played, and she bought that round basically because she had heard good things. She wanted to see it. She liked the pictures, and it was a beautiful, beautiful golf course. A beautiful golf course. I think the back nine is substantially better than the front. Substantially better than the front on Fossil Trace because it was like in this industrial park. It was loud. Buildings were everywhere. A lot of construction. The back nine was beautiful. Had great views. It was wonderful. And again, in great shape. Fantastic shape. Great golf course. Got paired with a guy who was a definite plus handicap and he shot 68 from the back tees and beat the shit out of me. And, but hey, good on him. He was fantastic. But yes, that's how we picked it. Try to pick picturesque courses that aren't too expensive. Like, Torrey was $265 for me to play, and I wasn't really interested in playing that. And, I think Torrey's a bit overrated considering where it's built and the land that it's built on, like how you get all those ocean views. And all the holes are pretty much straight down the middle, long and straight down that doesn't do a ton for me. That's why we played Madeiras in Poway, and I thought Madeiras was incredible.
Well, thank you for spending some time talking about that because I think that's it's a fair conversation to say, you play a lot of destination golf, and a lot of people do, and you tend to think, man, it's, the grass is greener over here, and sometimes it might not be. But Colorado, obviously, we can't replicate those views.
No,
right?
we can't.
We don't have the terrain for it.
Can't do
it. You're probably there's probably a little bit of a slight advantage there. But your golf, you shot 73. So what was the difference between Troy Burne a week later? Was it Bear
Dance? Bear Dance. Yeah, look it up. It's amazing. What I tried to do was this. I struggled for about 4 holes at the Pinery the night before, and just was like, I need to slow everything down. And I started to get like the visual of Hideki Matsuyama in my brain, just a really slow takeaway and keeping the left arm straight and really focusing on that. And it clicked. I got dialed, and I started hitting a 2-yard cut just every time on command. Every shot was just a baby cut, and I was flagging balls, like just hitting the ball, like it was just everything was working. And you get into a zone. And I told my wife on like the 12th hole, like, I'm kind of feeling it right now. Like I feel it. Like I've got it right now. And I don't think she knew what that meant. I don't even know if I knew what that meant. But I was in a zone and I was locked in where I just felt like I couldn't miss a shot. I was like, every shot I'm going to hit's going to be flush and it's going to be right where I want it. And I'm going to make a few putts. And I did. It's a weird feeling, but it's a good feeling.
I still have never shot 73. 75 is my best score. I've shot 76, 77 a few times. And I don't think any other rounds in the 70s. I've shot a lot of 80s and 81s, though. So, someday.
In fairness, too, because I'm a bit of a golf whore, right? There's not a golf course I won't play. I'll play any goat track anywhere. As long as it's got a flag and a hole and a course layout, I'm going to play it. I am not picky. I'm really not. Played Springbrook this morning in Mora. I loved it. And that's just a mom and pop $30 golf course. And I had a great time. I love playing courses. I just love playing golf. And I'm not one of those guys that's picky, but I will say this, because I played Viking the second day I got home. You go out and you play. You go from playing Fossil Trace, which is immaculate and perfect, and you play Viking the next day. Didn't care. Didn't matter. But I will say this. Conditions do matter. A well-manicured golf course, a golf course that's well-maintained, that has water on it, that they have taken care of, I think is good, could be good for 3 strokes to 4 strokes around. Like, I believe if you go play Bear Dance and you shoot your 77, like if that's the day you have 77 in you, I think it becomes 73. It's kind of like Sand Valley, right? If we don't get the 30-mile-an-hour wind at Sand Valley, like say it's 10-mile-an-hour wind, I think you're 4 strokes better. I mean, think about it. Every putt, perfectly true. You hit the line right, you're going to make it. It's not like other greens.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with because, I go out to, and I was actually countering that argument to you when you were struggling a little bit at Troy Burne to try to make you feel better. But I meant it, right?
Yeah.
I said, we can't hold ourselves to the same standard at these golf courses that are 6,400 yards as 57 and flat, and not meant to be difficult. But it's hard to argue with that because, what did we shoot at Sand Valley? 82, 83, 83, 84?
Something like that. Yep, that was about right.
You and I were a shot or two off. And I thought I played okay. You can't lose a ball at Sand Valley. That helps.
Can't.
But again, shot whatever, 82, 83 at Troy Burne. And I probably shoot 81, 82, 83 at Hidden Haven. So it feels to me like it's easier to play those golf courses because there's a lot of drivable par 4s, or what I consider to be a drivable par 4 is something I can get within a flip wedge of, right?
Yep.
Something to where you can't miss the green. If anybody could, it would be me, but by most people's standards, I can get to where you can't miss a green. That's what I consider to be a drivable par 4. more difficult golf courses, there's not a lot of that. But if you can spin your not maybe not mid irons, but your 8-9 pitch, that's really not, if you can hold a green, it's really not that big of a deal. Whereas when these more simple courses get baked out in the summer, that can be difficult to do, right? You can hit what you think is a perfect shot. It can land 15 feet in front of the hole and trickle all the way over the back of the green, and then you have a difficult pitch back into a sloping away from your green.
Precisely.
So and making putts, it's hard to make 10-foot putts when the ball is going. I mean, if we're playing a golf course like Hidden, Viking, nothing, I love those golf courses, nothing against those golf courses. Your ball's not going to take a perfect line on that 10-foot putt.
No.
It's not going to.
It's a little bit of potluck if that's going to go in or not, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you just don't know what you're going to get. Meanwhile, I mean, like, what I'm trying to think of the right example here for this. Yeah, this is how it sums up. I hit 14 of 18 greens at Bear Dance. 14 of 18 greens at Bear Dance. And the reason why was because the greens are big enough and those balls stopped and they funneled and I played the slopes of the greens perfectly, I guess. But either way, I hit a ball on the green, it stopped. I went to Viking on that Sunday and couldn't stop a ball if my life depended on it. I had 5 greens in regulation. And it wasn't that I was hitting it all that terrible. I thought I was hitting it okay. It's just really hard to stop a ball. But it wasn't hard to stop a ball there. You could stop it anywhere. And I think the same thing at Troy Burne.
Yeah, I mean, look at, not to talk about myself, but look at 18. I hit a wayward tee shot, kind of got lucky that the green, or that the fairway went that way, and I was either in the fairway or just off the fairway. Then I hit what I consider to be a pretty squirrely pitching wedge, and I thought I was going to be off of the green, and we go up there and I'm 14 feet from the hole, and then I all of a sudden have a tap in par at a golf course that's baked out and the greens are in rough shape. That ball is bouncing 10, 12, 15, 20 feet over the green, and that's an awkward playback, and you're not making par.
Correct. And
You're
that's
not.
I think that's the argument, right? That good condition, like really good conditions, can make you 3 to 4 strokes better. The conditions do matter.
Totally
and I
agree.
think that's why you have to not be so hard on yourself, I think, if you go out and you play some of these local munis here in the summertime. Which, you know, I'm hearing all these guys online pissing and moaning about, oh, this muni was meh, the tee boxes, this, that, the other thing. It's like, bro, it's August, man. People have been playing golf on these courses every day since April, since March. And we haven't had a lot of rain. And if you're a muni course, you are operating on a bit of a budget. You know, you can't just go out there with a fire hose and just water everything. You wish you could, and I want them to. And I wish a lot of these more courses that are privately owned would do that. Go out to your driving range and throw some water on it occasionally. Please, I'm begging you. You know, but some courses, they can't do that. That's not in the budget to just go out and do that, and they're dependent on what Mother Nature provides. And we haven't had a ton of rain. We just haven't. And so some courses get baked out here in August, and you got to be okay with that. Like, you got to. And quit pissing and moaning. You know what? That golf course will suck a lot more when it's an apartment complex. So quit your bitching. Go play your golf and shut up.
Yeah, and a lot of people want it both ways. They want to have their $30 Groupon, and they want the golf course to be in pristine shape. And unfortunately, that's just not how it works.
I am glad you used that expression, because that takes us right to the golf headlines. Between Ty and Tim, we go talk about all the latest things in the world of golf. Having your cake and eating it too? Not so fast. Live Guys. Just recently, within the last hour and a half, coming onto this podcast, a judge in California has rejected the temporary restraining order for Taylor Gooch, Hudson Swafford, and Matty Jones to play in the FedEx Cup playoffs, saying that the ban from the PGA Tour does not cause them irreparable financial harm, and they are shut out of the FedEx Cup playoffs. And there was some really interesting, juicy stuff that came out of that court hearing today, which saw those three guys lose. And the judge just destroyed it. The live attorney here. A long way to go for the tour, but that was a big win. You couldn't have them lose that one, I think.
No, and half of me expected them. Half of me expected these guys to be able to play.
Me too.
In the FedEx Cup playoffs, not because of a real victory, but just because of injunctions and holds and things like that, things of that nature. So I have a tremendous issue that is keeping me up at night with Live Golf. And I have just had to hear Bryson DeChambeau say so many times, it's about a work-life balance. Patrick Reed, it's about a work-life balance. So correct me if I'm wrong. And I think there's a counter argument to what I'm saying, as there would be to most of what you can argue. Correct me if I'm wrong. 13 live events right now, right? 18 next year? 16,
no,
18?
It's 8 this year, but 14 next year.
Okay.
Not counting the 4 majors, 14. Which they still want to play.
Right. And the PGA Tour wants you to play 15 events minimum?
Counting
the
majors. Yep, counting the majors.
Counting the majors. So are they only wanting to play the majors and retain their basically they need world golf ranking points to play in most of the majors, right? The Masters is invitation, so that's kind of a separate deal. But world golf ranking is going to be the other 3 majors beyond wins and exemptions that way, right?
Beyond being exempt by winning things, yeah, you'll have to get in through your OWGR. And if you're a guy like Sergio Garcia, who's running past his Masters exemptions, for example, a guy who won it like 6-7 years ago, you're starting to run out of those places. All of a sudden, you're going to not be invited to the U.S. Open, to the PGA Championship. And without playing in meaningful golf events, your ranking is going to sink like a rock here, like really soon. And so there's a definite need. That's why you're seeing Patrick Reed, speaking of Mr. Work-Life Balance, who's already going to play in a couple events on the Asian Tour because he needs to try to get his world ranking points up so that he can keep playing in these things. So now Patrick Reed next year is staring a 25-event schedule in the face because he needs to play all these extra events. There's work-life balance for you. Enjoy it. It's being shot here, and I think there's going to be, like I told you, there's going to be some bad collateral damage here. The tour's got issues, and we'll tear into those in a little bit, but the hypocrisy of the live guys is beyond the pale to me, and I'm glad to see them take it in the shorts at least once today.
Yeah, and to further my point, some of these guys want to play beyond the majors, right? They want to be able to play live, and then they want to be able to play PGA Tour events.
Yeah, they want to go to the Players. They want to play, in Riv. They want to play Riviera because Riviera is going to be a $20 million purse next year.
Well, it doesn't work like that, right? So if you're talking about work-life balance and you're saying I want to be able to play on the PGA Tour, well, the PGA Tour requires you to play 15 tournaments a year. That's not changing. I think that's a fair thing for the PGA Tour to say. And you're going to say the PGA Tour makes me play the wraparound schedule, and it's too hard to chase FedEx Cup points. But
all
yet
of
the
which
I
can listen to. I can listen to all that too, by the way.
Okay, but the wraparound schedule. Again, we talked about this on the last podcast. You don't really have to play the wraparound schedule. The lesser guys who are okay playing it, who are there chasing points, those guys aren't the ones complaining. It's the guys who are mostly easily within the top 125 that are complaining. And that's with playing 1 or 2 events before April 1st. Okay. Crimea River. So these guys want to play they want to play 14 tournaments with the live.
And it's mandatory 14.
And then 15 tournaments on the PGA Tour. That I've just never seen anybody say that, but yet that's kind of what's being, I'm an independent contractor, should be able to do whatever I want. Well, World Golf Ranking can choose what they want to award points for. The FedEx Cup Playoffs can choose what they want to award points for. These live events were not created by them. These made-up events. I can't just make up an event and say, you know what, Tim, I'm going to have a golf tournament this Saturday, and I don't see why there can't be FedEx Cup Playoff
or original
points awarded.
world golf points. Yeah.
Yeah. Why did we not get world golf ranking points for our round at? Because they're not PGA Tour events. They're not US golf events. They're not British.
Well, and even then, they're not even in the bylaws of sanctioned golf, right? The rules of the world golf ranking points are pretty simple. You have to play 72 hole rounds with cuts, like or whatever, or at least 72 hole events. They have to be 4 rounds, 72 hole events, which is why the PGA Tour Champions doesn't count as Ty steps out. He has to step away. But the PGA Tour Champions doesn't get credit for their events because they're 54 holes, most of them are, and so they don't count. And so all those seniors, once they hit the 50 tour, you notice this. Like Bernhard Langer has been playing dominant golf on the Champions Tour for 15 years. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's not even in the top 1,000 for world ranking points because he doesn't play 4-round cut events in, whether it's on the DP World Tour, the Asian Tour, or whether it's on the PGA Tour. He doesn't do that. And so because he doesn't do that, he doesn't have any world ranking points. We all understand that. Like the Champions Tour guys get that. Ernie Els understands that, like, I want to go play the Champions Tour, and in doing that, I am surrendering world golf ranking points because I'm only playing 54-hole events, and those don't count. The LIV guys don't want to play 72-hole events. The whole draw of LIV is to play 54-hole events with a shotgun start. That's not how we do it. That's not how the world golf ranking points work, and I don't know how they're ever going to win that battle.
Yeah, I've sort of come to an agreement with myself that I am okay with whoever wants to go play LIV.
Yep.
Okay, go play. That's fine. Take the money wherever it comes from. I know you don't care. They don't care, so whatever. I don't care. But you can't play in the majors. We're not changing the rules for you. If the Masters wants to give you an invite, that's their prerogative. Totally fine with that. Won't complain. But we're sticking with the current rules. You don't get to do both. It doesn't work like that. You're not going to go play 14 LIV events, which LIV, for those who don't know, LIV doesn't work without you playing damn near every event.
It's every event. That's not damn near. It's every. Okay. And the fact the judge pointed that out today, the judge called out the LIV attorneys for saying, like, this contract's pretty restrictive. Like, seems more restrictive than the PGA Tour contract. This one makes you play all the tournaments. This one makes you wear LIV gear. This one makes you, wear team hats and stuff like that. I don't see the tour making you do that. Like, it was pretty interesting stuff today.
Yeah.
And the lawyer for LIV was a complete idiot. Had no idea what he was talking about. None. No idea. Zero.
Was it Amber Heard's lawyer?
No, it wasn't that guy, but or this gal. But this guy, just, you could tell, like, he's a high-priced lawyer, I'm sure. He didn't have a clue. He didn't know what he was getting himself into. And this judge, give her credit, this judge came loaded and asked all the questions, and this guy didn't have enough answers. And I'm not saying the PGA Tour is clean here. They've got problems. They've got things that absolutely need to be addressed. And there are things even in the complaint that LIV filed, the 10 players who filed the lawsuit last week, Phil, Bryson, and the like. There are things that are being alleged in that 105-page lawsuit that are pretty aggressive, right? That are, if you listen to like the Fried Egg or No Laying Up had a pretty good review with it too, that got into a lot of pretty serious accusations. And if they're true, I think the tour might be in some trouble. But I think we already saw today is an example of not everything in that document is going to be true, and they're going to have a very hard time making that stick.
And I guess I haven't read the whole complaint, but what is it beyond? Was Bryson was scolded for telling people about how much fun he was having at the LIV event?
No, I think they were talking about things like holding away the players' vested pensions, like people who had already spent, money into that, or telling a guy like Andy Ogletree, who had no status on the PGA Tour, that he was banned, which I think is a good conversation to have. If he was never on the tour in the first place and he had no status, can you ban a guy with no status? Like, I don't know if you can do that. And I think those are fair questions. But as far as this lawyer today described Matt Jones, Taylor Gooch, and Hudson Swafford as these poor kids. How fucking tone deaf can you possibly be? These poor little kids who have made a combined $40 million? What are you talking about? And in the complaint, they lodged that, hey, Brooks Koepka was the PGA Player of the Year in 2019. He made $9 million, which would make him the 128th highest paid football player, the 101st baseball player, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Now you get it. When you don't draw 10 million viewers a week or 20 million viewers a week or whatever the NFL draws, and you don't sign contracts with Amazon and Peacock and Fox to do night baseball in the World Series and get a gigantic paycheck from that, you don't get paid as much. Now you get it. Now you're getting it. Now you're figuring it out. Sergio Garcia ain't Max Verstappen. He ain't Ronaldo. He ain't Shohei Ohtani. He shouldn't get paid like them. I'm sorry. Take your $9 million, take your $3 or $4 or $5 or $10 million that you get from advertisement, and be grateful for what you have. Because you are overpaid for what you draw. Like, I love golf. Nobody fucking watches golf. I'm the only idiot that watches golf. You and I, we watch golf. Like, they draw like 1 million viewers a week or 3 million viewers a week. That's nothing. That is nothing. There are 500 million people in the United States. They get 4 million. Like, what are we talking about? How many people watch the NFL a week? 50 million? How many people watch college football? 150 million a week? We're not even close. What are you talking about? I don't know. That stuff makes me crazy. I hope they continue to lose every single time. However, they're not going to lose because it sounds like it's a done deal. And so we need to talk about this real quick. Also breaking news within the last 2 hours. Cam Smith, it's a done deal according to a couple of outlets. Daily Telegraph, I think, in UK, and other places have reported Cam Smith and Leishman are done. It's locked in. They're going to live. They got a $100 million deal for Cam, 50, 60 million for Leish. They're going to be in an Australian team at the next live event. Cam, though, wants to play the FedEx Cup playoffs and try to cash in on this $18 million before he goes to live. And the word is he's not going to play the President's Cup. If true, boy, I wish Rory McIlroy would have won the Open.
Yep. Totally agree. And you know, there's no mystery out there that Cam Smith has become my favorite golfer. The rumors have certainly pushed him back, and now today, like you mentioned, it's pretty much a done deal. It's very rich that he wants to play in the FedEx Cup playoffs, though, because as I've said a million times, I don't want to beat a dead horse. He said that he didn't care about money last time they asked him what he'd do if he won the FedEx Cup playoffs. Now he wants to I want to play in the FedEx Cup, finish what I started here, and then go over and play live. I also don't understand why these players are making these defections halfway through a season and then complaining about the fact that they're losing their momentum. Why couldn't they have done a clean break and done it last year? I don't understand that. And maybe I'm begging for something I don't want to see because maybe this is only the minority of the players going. I honestly don't think that's the case because we've found now with this latest rumors of defection, most players have either stated that they're 100% in support of the PGA Tour or they're rumored to be going to live, to be honest, or they're players we don't really care a whole lot about. I'm really glad that you and I agree on this because it'd be really hard to come on this podcast and fight with you about this because I feel just as passionately as you do. I don't know that I come at it from as much of the no. It's more so with me, it's fandom. But you're right. And the WNBA players would like a word about salaries, right? Unfortunately, it is unfortunate, right? Because we don't choose to be a male or female. We don't choose to be born with our God-given talents. We choose to put in work, and we want to be rewarded for that work. And it's unfortunate that if you or I were a professional athlete, we'd be paid more than our wives. That is unfortunate. But the bottom line is it comes down to the money you're bringing in. And I just don't think it's fair for Brooks Koepka to look at Mike Trout, who's getting paid $40-50 million a year, and say, I should be making that because I am at the top of my craft similar to him. It doesn't work like that, right? Cricket players, rugby players, do you think they make $50 million a year?
Yeah,
No, because they don't have the fan bases that football and baseball and basketball do. To me, it's simple. And playing exhibition golf and paying these guys not to play real golf is frustrating to me. And I was texting with a friend today. Sorry to be long-winded.
No, please. Please talk.
And he asked me, and he was genuine, and he just said, "What makes it exhibition golf? It's a golf tournament. Some of the best players are there. There's big money on the line. What makes that exhibition golf? It's 54 holes. Now, nobody said that a golf course or that a golf tournament has to be 72 holes, right? I agree with that. There's no fans. There's no TV contract, right? Nobody cares who won the inaugural London golf tournament, right? There's no prowess to that. There's no playoffs. Nobody's watching. There's just this phony paycheck coming from dirty sources. That sounds like an exhibition to me. It's a hit and giggle. There's a shotgun start on Sunday. I admit, sure, if these guys want a shotgun start, it doesn't work math-wise. Maybe we could play 2 courses, do a shotgun start on Thursday, Friday. I don't care. But it doesn't work on Sunday. That's not going to amount to fans being interested. They don't want to see a guy finishing on 13 at the same time that the last place finisher is finishing on 18. And then on top of that, these golf courses, right? These are golf courses most people have never heard of. Now, they're a little bit hamstrung. And then the final thing is the team aspect. Nobody cares about that. I understand you're looking at what's the racing? I'm just not Formula One, and you're saying, wow, we could have that. Formula One is so big. Nobody wants to see 4-man teams who aren't playing together. All of a sudden at the end, let's tally up and see who gets the paycheck. Nobody cares. Nobody's going to care.
Yeah.
That's a hit and giggle. That's an exhibition. These guys are being paid to play in exhibitions, and it's not sustainable. I'm not saying the Saudis are going to run out of money. I know that's not the case, but they're not going to spend their money silly. And they think there's a pipe dream that they could take over the golf market in the world, and that would be I'm sure they know that would be a profitable avenue, and they would really be able to globalize golf. Having said that, I won't listen to the argument that this in itself is good for golf. Now, if you could come up with a reason, a way to make the PGA Tour better and globalize that, but changing the rules enough so that you can bring these guys over does not do it for me. And I'm not buying it. It's not good for golf. This is not good for golf. It waters down both ends.
Yep, it does. It's not a rising tide lifts all boats thing. It's because sometimes people say that. They're like, competition's good. A rising tide lifts all boats. And sometimes I absolutely subscribe to that, right? If there's 10 burger joints in town, that's okay. I want 10 burger joints because then everybody's fighting for the best burger. Now, to me, because I'm not saying there's an endless supply of beef, but in theory, beef is beef, and you just keep replenishing it's you perfecting the burger. High-end golf, just like high-end football, just like high-end baseball, soccer, Formula One racing, etc., is finite. Not everybody can do it, right? You don't just have an endless supply of great golfers. Just like you don't have an endless supply of great race car drivers, an endless supply of whatever. You don't have them, right? We're finding that out in the NFL, right? They've expanded. They keep expanding. We're up to 32 teams. There aren't 32 good quarterbacks. Yes, there are quarterbacks, but are there 32 good ones? No, they're not. There are, but the 32nd best quarterback is the legitimately 32nd best quarterback in the world, and he's still not that good. The gap is that big from Tom and Pat Mahomes down to whoever number 32 is. Throw it, whoever that guy is. Golf is the same thing. Like, there really isn't an endless supply of great golfers. There's not. And so when they're all spread out and they never play each other, that doesn't lift all boats. That tide doesn't do anything, right? That dilutes. That takes away. It's kind of like, this is an education thing. It became with the A. When the A became the standard, everybody needs to get an A. And the A is the minimum. When the A is the minimum and everybody gets an A, the A doesn't matter. Like, if you're not differentiating the high-flying students who do the extra work and put the extra time in and get the A for real, and the people who just piss and moan to get an A, what you've done is you have diluted the A. The A doesn't matter as much. Because it used to be, Ty, the C was the minimum standard. To do all the work at the minimum requirement, you'd get a C. The A was for the extra work, the person who went above and beyond. It's the other way now. And I'm not even saying I disagree with that, but you can't say to me that the A means what it meant 25 years ago. It doesn't. It just doesn't. I'm not saying that that's bad, worse, wrong. I'm not trying to be like that. Just like I'm not saying we shouldn't have competition in golf. I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying that this isn't the way to do it. This is not good for business, and this will kill the tour eventually if they win. If Liv wins and they don't compromise, this will be the end of that. And then nothing will matter. The Masters won't matter. The U.S. Open won't matter. Liv won't matter. The PGA Tour won't matter. Why? Because the best players aren't playing. We won't know who the best player is. We couldn't identify it. We wouldn't know. I mean, is that fair?
Yeah. I couldn't have said it better. And that's the argument that needs to be made when people say, oh, man, a little competition's good. Are they afraid of a little competition? I don't think they are. I think they just see not the writing on the wall. I think they just see where this is going if they don't fight.
Yeah, because they don't have the money.
No.
Liv has spent $600 million on 5 players. The PGA Tour's revenue last year was $1.2 billion. In 5 players, the Saudis have spent half of the PGA Tour's total revenue last year. 5 players. You ain't hanging around. You can't compete. You can't.
Yeah, and I don't think it'll happen because these guys don't have the means, but the lower players on the tour, the meddling players, should be suing the Liv players, taking money out of their pockets.
Yeah.
Because it's taking money out of their pockets. Something's going to have to give. Every time the PGA Tour ups their prize, they're taking money away from the other tournaments from the lower guys.
And they talked about this in the court hearing today that it'll be they're looking at like next September as like the court date. That means they got 13 months of motions and filings and discovery and depositions and all that. Just a quick thought. Will we see this trial get there in 13 months? Or will this be settled before then?
I'm coming more and more to the realization that they're probably going to come to an agreement. I don't know what it is because the Liv is not asking. It felt like at the beginning the Liv was just like, no, let's do a 5 events. We'll pay a bunch of money, get a big TV contract. It'll be like WGC but unaffiliated. We can make our money. You guys can. And now it's like, nope, it's us versus you. And that could have been a little bit of the PGA Tour not giving an inch, so they took a mile. But I just don't know how the Liv gets what they want aside from just a piece of the pie, because they want the whole pie, right? That's what it's come to. They act like they want a piece, but they want the whole.
They do. 100%.
I don't know how you can really come to an agreement on that. These guys aren't going to play 14 and 15. They're not going to play. You know, Brooks Koepka's not playing 29 tournaments. That's not happening.
Ryder Cup and President's Cup are in real trouble. If they don't
And
come to a resolution, they're in big trouble.
It's pretty sad if Brooks Koepka thinks he can play 14 live events, play the majors, and play 1 or 2 PGA Tour events. That's not how that works, bud.
Nope.
Sorry to break it to you.
Shouldn't be how it works either.
No. We can't come to an agreement like that. And I say we because clearly I'm on the side of the PGA Tour. But like I said, I do think there'll be some sort of agreement. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, me too. I don't know either. Couple of last-minute nuggets for you, Ty. Ricky Fowler split with longtime caddy Joe Scavron today. Ricky gets into the playoffs because of all this live stuff on the number at 125. Jordan, when he was struggling, stuck with Greller, didn't make any changes. Ricky, is this the beginning? Like, we're going to see a firing of John Tillery, maybe a reconciliation with Butch Harmon soon, new caddy. Ricky maybe to live at some point. We don't know yet. Where's Ricky?
I didn't know that. I kind of saw that happening. Doesn't surprise me. That tends to be, these players don't tend to stick with their caddies through this lull, like you mentioned. Spieth, that's kind of in the minority there.
You're right.
When you take 2-3 years off of wins and things of that nature, you don't usually see you come out of the other side with the same team coach.
Zalatoris is
caddy.
playing great, and he fired his caddy mid-tournament.
And they're best friends.
They're good friends.
Yeah. Mid-tournament, yeah. I don't think it's all the story's being told there. You don't fire a mid-tournament, but
there's more there than we think.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, I don't know. I think we've seen.
Have we seen? That's it. Ricky Fowler.
Ricky.
That's it. Yeah, he's gone.
If I'm Ricky, if I've had a buddy ask me, wouldn't you take the money and go to live? I can't answer that. I have to know who I am, right? As Ty Shrupp, yeah, absolutely, I'm going to live. As Ricky Fowler, I'm going to live. But as Jordan Spieth, no. Nope. As Taylor Gooch, nope.
Nope. No, I'm not.
Not going.
Yeah, as Tim Anderson, who makes, not 6 figures, just a regular dude paying student loan debt, just a regular dude paying a car payment, paying a mortgage, taking a wife on the occasional trip to Colorado. Just that guy who's schlepping Viking Meadows every couple of days. Yeah, I'm probably... Yeah, I guess I would take $10 million. I'd take $20 million, especially if it didn't matter how I finished. If I could go out there and shoot in the 80s for 3 straight rounds and collect $300,000, why wouldn't I do that? Makes good sense to a guy like me. Like I said, I get it for Pat Perez. I understand it because he's just getting I call it a head start on the senior tour. 54-hole event, shotgun start. Sounds good. Lee Westwood, sure. I don't get it if you're Taylor Gooch, who's 20-something and entering the prime of his career. I don't get it if you're Cameron Smith. I don't get it if you're Bryson. I don't get it if you're Koepka. Unless you really are just about the money and you're not really serious about being a great golfer. And if that's the case, okay. But just say that then. Just say it. Be like David Faraday, who stood up and said, I ain't about growing the game. I don't care about that. I care about the money I got paid. I got paid a lot. Just say it. I can respect that a hell of a lot more. I still think you're a scumbag, but I can at least respect it. Can't respect it with the pretense that I'm getting now. So all of that, Ty, all of that. And did you know the FedEx Cup playoff starts this week?
I did.
Oh my God, this thing is so squashed. Oh my Lord, it's so bad. It's really killed all the momentum. It was almost like the world stopped when Cam Smith won the Open. And the golf world has just sort of stopped. Like, hey, big props to Tom Kim, who's 20 years old and won the Wyndham last week. That was awesome. Really great, right? Really cool. Ashley Buhai winning the Women's Open. That was sweet, right? I love Muirfield. That was great. I don't know, man. Like, I just feel like the LIV PGA Tour stuff has swallowed the sport I don't know when this sport becomes a sport again. I don't know. I worry, like I said, we're IndyCar. It's on its way to being IndyCar right now. And I'm worried about that.
We just have to hope that Augusta cures everything. We'll see.
They could. They might. We'll see. It depends on how serious some of these guys are.
Yeah.
We're a long way to April, my friend. We got to get out and play golf again. Now that we've had the Troy Burne experience, we might need to go and figure out a new venue and get out there and go play. There's plenty of stuff out there. And you don't have to even pay. We just BOGO the next one or pay the next one together. We'll get out and play. We got to do it soon.
Sounds good.
Let's take this offline. Tyus, good luck in the house search. By the way, tyschrupp.com. Please go ahead and visit that site, especially if you're here on YouTube and you're new to the podcast and you're liking us and you're subscribing and you need some car insurance, you need some home insurance, you need all that insurance. You need a lot of insurance. Everything's got to be insured, right? Everything. You got to go to tyschrupp.com to get that done. And then you got to talk to my guy Ty, because Ty will take care of you. He is the fastest rising insurance agent in Minnesota, has been for the last couple of years now. He's going to be on more billboards than Chris Lindahl here in about 10 years and 10 months. What, 10 months maybe? Depends on what he sells his house for, I guess. So please go tyschrupp.com and let him help you out. Let him take care of you. And then tell him that you heard about us on the podcast. And if you did that, Ty will definitely answer that phone personally. He'll talk to you himself. He makes that plea right here on the podcast right now. You decree that, yes?
Absolutely, yes. I will take that phone call myself. Just mention the pod, and I will do that.
You got to love it. Got to love it. So thank you for that. And once again, you can find this podcast. Please subscribe, share it out. And until next time, thank you to my guy Ty. This is Tim saying keep your head up, and we'll see you next time.